From Global Research by Michael Welch. What is really going on in Syria? Extensive U.S.-sponsored war crimes. Quote, the head of forensics that I met with in November on my third visit to Aleppo said in the past 4+ years, 11,000 civilians in Aleppo have been killed by these different mortar gas canister, explosive bullets, and sniping attacks by militant factions, yet not one that I've ever heard in Western media because it doesn't support their narrative. Ava Bartlett. In the last few weeks of 2016, messages were being broadcast across both broadcast and social media declaring that the Syrian armed forces, in collaboration with Russian air support, were mercilessly attacking civilians in the city of Aleppo. The citizenry of Western countries were shown pictures of injured Syrians being rescued by the non-partisan group of volunteer first responders known as the White Helmets. Appeals from Amnesty International went out critiquing Russia and the Syrian government for their violence against civilians. Médecins Sans Frontières had accused the pro-government forces of destroying a hospital in Al-Quds. All the while, media ignored the Western-backed opposition militants decimating Aleppo, among other cities. In this media climate, truly independent journalists have proven to be a liability. Portrayals of the 6-year-old Syrian conflict as dictatorial barbarism against a pro-democratic resistance begin to unravel when testimonies from the general population under siege get exposure. Ava Bartlett is one such independent journalist, a Canadian who had visited Syria 6 times since 2014. Bartlett has debunked a lot of the myths and documented how the Western-backed militants, including the Islamic State and the al-Nusra Front, are the principal architects of the violence in Syria currently. In late January 2017, Bartlett commenced a Canadian-speaking tour in which she relayed her Syrian experiences to a curious public. Utilizing a slide presentation and some video footage available online, Ava Bartlett addressed the false narrative around the White Helmets, the unreliability of the Syrian Observatory of Human Rights as a source, opposition militants sniping humanitarian corridors out of Aleppo, and the fabricated legend of all doctors leaving Aleppo, among other propaganda. She also confronts the criticisms directed at her reporting, including the accusation of being an employee of pro-Russian news agencies and an Assad apologist. On February 2nd, she gave 2 talks in Winnipeg. This week's Global Research News Hour airs for the first time audio from one of those talks. It took place in the evening at Winnipeg's Millennium Library in the Carol Shields Auditorium. Video footage from the Montreal leg of Bartlett's tour is available here, and there is a YouTube video available. Ava Bartlett is a freelance journalist and rights activist with the extensive experience in the Gaza Strip, where she lived a cumulative 3 years from late 2008 to early 2013, arriving by boat as part of the Free Gaza missions. She documented the 2008, 2009, and 2012 Israeli war crimes and attacks on Gaza while riding in ambulances and reporting from hospitals. Ava accompanied Palestinian fishers and farmers as they came under intensive fire from the Israeli army. She has been to Syria 4 times since April 2014 and works to convey the voices of the people suffering under the foreign war on Syria. Her writings can be found on her blog, In Gaza. This from globalresearch.ca.